Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you could start or scale your digital marketing agency. Now, I have a very special guest joining me. Well, he's in the Balkans right now, actually, but I know home is the US. He has been a digital freelancer for almost a decade and has been running his own agency for the best part of 2 years. His name is John Norra, and he is the founder of Promo Atlantic. John, welcome to the show.
Pleasure being here, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining me. Now, for the people who might not know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction to how you got into the agency business?
Yeah, cool. So I started as a freelancer. I started using and jumping into the freelance world back 6 years ago, something like that. So I used to own a couple of big Facebook pages at the time. So when it's 2010, 2012, and I knew that Facebook had some power and I could make some money out of Facebook, but I didn't really have a business at that point. So I wanted to service people on growing their pages. And that's how I got into freelancing. And slowly I started to transition into paid media. Now into paid media, my first clients were e-commerce clients. And since I found some success with them initially, then I started to think, well, maybe I have something good in my hands and I can make this even better by serving even more e-commerce businesses to grow them and get them to become a 7-figure brand altogether. So that's how Promo Atlantic started, and that's how we've been growing for the past 2 years. It's a year and a half officially, but I'd say 2 years also with the preparation and the transition phase from being completely on my own, then hiring a team, and then getting to where I am right now.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So that's a 10-year success story there. Rather,
Yeah,
you did
yeah,
last week and this week you have an agency.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you touched upon obviously ecom, and I know speaking to a lot of people in the advertising space, whether they're freelancers or trying to build their own agency, ecom
Mhm.
is one of those things, either it works really well or you struggle with it. So from your
Yeah.
perspective and from the campaigns that you have run, what are the core components of a successful ecom campaign?
That's a great question. And thank you for asking that. So what I think and what I teach to my students as well is the basic success will come from your offer. That's the first thing. If you have the best campaign and start advertising that on Facebook, Google, wherever you want to start advertising that, but your offer is not good, then nobody's going to buy it. The same thing starts to happen when people also focus on getting a very good landing page and getting that landing page with the best animations, the best images, and probably the best copy, and it still doesn't convert well. That's because the offer sucks, and whoever you're showing it to, they're not going to be that interested into it. So the core success of any advertising campaign, especially digital campaign, is the offer. And then after that, you reverse engineer it to find the perfect audience to show that offer to. And that's how we at least continuously generate great results for our clients as well.
Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about the offer, let's break it down a little bit uh,
Yep.
into something a bit more granular, something that people can understand. Can
Mhm.
you take any household object or trinket and turn that into an irresistible offer, or will some products never sell depending on whatever angle you come up with?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's fairly interesting because we've had the luck to work with very I would say quote unquote avant-garde businesses where the concept is totally new in the market, and we needed to figure out a way to get this product into the hands of customers. This one of these ideas is a drone which we had the chance to get in touch with, and the drone would what the idea behind the drone was is to help you within your own house to get things that you needed to, I don't know, go ahead and grab something for you in the room, in the next room or something like that. So something which was pretty futuristic, but yet people didn't quite understand the usage of it, or how much money they should pour into it in order to get this to work for them. So my point with this example is, because this is a concrete example, is that some sorts of products may need some time to develop. There are some other products that they just don't have the right timing. So for example, one big thing is the fidget spinner, which was big in 2016, 2017. So that thing had its own timing. And once it started to sell, even more people got into that bandwagon and kept on going and selling and milking it as much as they could. But then we have what I would love to call evergreen products. So things that are day to day, which have a highly perceived value. And out of that, you can grow a real business from. So I'd stay away from these two sorts of products, which are either seasonal or they need some time to develop. So you need to first make a solid marketing campaign to just get people to understand what it is and why do I need it, and then get them to buy it. So I'd stay away from these if I was new. And if I would get to start an e-com business, it would start with an evergreen product, with something that people are used to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so imagine I suppose I want to launch a new product, a new brand, nobody's heard of me, and I've approached your agency for a bit of advice about how I get this off the ground. Now, I know some marketers would say, well, launch a Facebook conversions campaign and go from there without really looking at the whole funnel or the whole mix. What approach do you guys take when you're looking to launch a new brand?
Yeah. So first things first, what we do is that we analyze the audience. We don't want to guess, and we don't certainly want to leave it all on Facebook, especially because Facebook does a great job finding you buyers, but it's not getting that first or second sale. It's about getting sustainable sales and building a machine which will generate sales for you. I know that most agencies start just by doing conversion campaigns and they just do that right off the bat. But we have experimented with something that's slightly, I'd say, more interesting, at least what we found to be and generate results better for our clients. So what we do is, if a brand is completely new and they've not run any sorts of digital advertising before, we run a lead gen campaign. And that's not a lead gen with a lead form on Facebook. That's a lead gen within a website. So we gather emails and see how many people are interested in what this brand is trying to sell. We offer something for free, a lead magnet, super easy. Then we get a solid list out of them, and then we start to market to that custom audience. If that custom audience starts to convert well, then we have a winning audience, which we can turn into a lookalike. And then from there, we start to develop even more and more winning campaigns at a cheaper rate. Because as you know, starting from a conversion campaign right off the bat is something that it's costly and it's expensive. So we want to take different routes and take different directions just to quote unquote not pay those fees beforehand.
And kind of talking about obviously profit and making sure that we maximize profits. How do you ensure that when you are running a campaign that you can actually get a positive result on the ROAS of the campaign? I'm not talking about maybe times 20 or times 10, but how do you at least break even on the ad expenditure?
So you're asking how do we figure out what the result will be, right?
Yeah, well, I suppose, yes. How do you project that? And then how do you ensure that you can turn a profit on the ad spend?
So that's an amazing question. Before getting a client signed on with us, we run them down a calculator, which we've created for our own agency, which wants to calculate what the pure profit will be for the client. I know there are tons of calculators out there that calculate what your ROAS would be, what your budget would be, and you sort of reverse engineer it that way. We want to go one step further, and we want to ensure that even if we see a 4 times return, what is the pure profit we're going to get for our client? So on top of a simple calculator, which we fill in a dollar per click, we fill in $10 per cost per 1,000 impressions, and then we fill in a 1%, 1.5% click-through rate, which are numbers, pretty standard numbers for the e-com industry. We go a step further and we also include average order value of that client. If they don't have any number for it, then we just get them to give us their most sold products offline. Most businesses that want to transition to online, at least our clients do have a list, and they have sold offline for a couple of years. So they have that proof of concept, which is super important as well. But then we get 2 to 3 of the best-selling products. We get the average of that and plug it in the calculator, and also their margins. So having all of these data points makes it super easy for us to calculate what the break-even ROAS would be, and then what the pure profit for the client would be, even after marketing expenses, our fee, and then their own margins to get the product to the customer. And then that way we can also start to optimize and give them suggestions on average order value, or give them suggestions on conversion rate within their page. And so we want to understand and make sure that if we start running campaigns, will this be something valuable for them? And this is how we do it.
Right. And if somebody's looking to actually improve their average order value, what are some of the tactics that they could deploy quite easily, or might not be too easy depending on the situation? What are the pinch points that you'd look at to improve or optimize for a higher average order value?
That's a great question. Again, so our focus is this has 2 different answers, which kind of fall into the same category. Increasing average order value, or increasing the amount of the revenue we generate for one visit, one interaction we have with this client we just bought a click from. Now, the way that we want to look at that is, if we have a brand, we have a solid website built, then we want to start upselling once people add to cart. So we want to suggest them on the right side, get them to look at their basket, and then down the basket of what they added, there are 2 to 3 items which we suggest to add to cart with that go with that. With that, also what we do is that we suggest clients have this small banner which says, for $14 more, or for this product more in your basket, you'll get free shipping, or you will get free express shipping. Something to encourage them to add to cart. Now, this is for standard e-commerce websites, which have a branded website and the site is pretty e-com standard. But there's this different place of e-commerce where people sell through funnels, right? So with funnels, people try order bumps, people try upsells and downsells all during the way. What I seen works best is actually upsells and then downsells in this funnel. So I don't really like order bumps, at least for e-commerce clients. I suggest upsells and downsells during the funnel. And because most people don't even have an upsell and downsell, they can just start from there, adding an upsell or adding a downsell if people don't go for the upsell right off. And then just doing that, they will start increasing their average order value and the value they get from a customer every time the customer interacts with their website.
Okay, then that's a great set of tips there. Now, single product stores, we've all seen them around. How easy or how difficult is it to actually run a campaign and turn a profit where you can't really upsell? You might be able to downsell, but there is this one core product that this company is selling.
Yeah. So with single product stores, what we always push to do is get as many. So if we run ads and we want to get the maximum amount of sales from one ad campaign, what we push the client to do is keep running email marketing campaigns. Because the thing with one product stores is that if they are selling just one simple thing, as you said, you cannot upsell them, you cannot downsell them, you cannot sort of have this ability to be creative. Most stores, what they do is once they start to get this first product to sell, they will start to include a second product and a third product that goes with that. And they slowly start to build an avalanche of products for their website. But getting back to our point, it's important to note that it's not just Facebook ads, it's the amazing offer that they have. And if they do have an amazing offer, that makes it super easy for us to generate amazing results, right? And so if we generate amazing results, they have great profit margins, and this machine keeps going, it's easy for them to add a second or a third product, which we can increase more and more down the line, increase their revenue more and more down the line.
And in terms of running traffic from the campaign, and I know there's kind of two schools of thoughts there. Do you prefer running traffic to a landing page, or do you prefer to run traffic to like a normal store listing?
I always try to do both, and I encourage my team to always keep an open mind when it comes to this. We've seen best results when we drive traffic to the landing page, but there's always a couple of stores and a couple of businesses and a couple of audiences which find getting in the website first and playing around with the website much better in terms of retargeting conversions than getting people right on in their landing page. But these, in most cases, it's for us, it's shown to be best landing page standard view.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, we've spoken a lot about kind of Facebook ads and e-commerce and running campaigns.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the agency business, because a lot of people who are going to be watching, they are starting their journey as an agency owner, or they're a freelancer looking to make a transition, or some people are, I suppose, working in a larger agency and they want to go out solo. So what's working for you in terms of prospecting and picking up new clients?
So for us, LinkedIn outreach has done a tremendous job. So I've gotten my first 3 clients out of LinkedIn outreach, my first 3 well-paying clients out of freelancing. And that's how I got to hire a team out of them. So I hired my first team member, and then I hired my second team member from these first 3 clients. Out of that, I started to leverage email marketing too. I know many people talk about email marketing, but very few people know how to actually do it. They miss that human touch to it. So that human touch is what will set you apart from the next agency which wants to advertise and get the next client through the door. There's this kind of philosophy that I've encompassed within my own agency, is that if we start to run email campaigns and cold campaigns to prospects, and by the way, you should do this consistently every day, keep track of your open rates, reply rates, and meeting rates. But the main idea with this is that if I send emails, if I send my first message to a recipient, and that recipient says no, then what I would like to do for that recipient is not just forget about them, is send them another email and let them know either why didn't they want to work with us or why they're not interested. At least if I'm not getting a chance to get on a meeting with them, I want to understand why would they not get on a meeting with me. So is it the timing that was bad? Is it something that they may be lacking resources? They may be running into different issues with their business, and marketing probably is not their biggest focus right now. So I wanted to take the best out of any situation when it comes to outreach, so I get the most information out of them and I can use it in my own advantage.
Okay. And in terms of your team internally, you've mentioned you've hired a couple of people. What does your setup look like? What do you focus on? What does your team focus on?
So me and my fiance, we focus on growing the agency, and then my team focuses on delivering the service. So my fiance runs the sales team. I kind of tie everything together because we have 2 agents all full-time working for us, going out and prospecting. And then we also have ads running for our own agency to get us even more meetings. And then all of this traffic that goes through needs to be delivered to our team. And then kind of they need to be directed of what to do and how to handle certain situations, because I'm still the face of the company for now. And I'm still thinking to be so for the next couple of years. But my point with it is that I still need to understand sales and be in sales and marketing, but I also still need to direct the marketing team. So my own team.
No, absolutely. You obviously need to be the CEO of your business, I suppose. So in terms of working out to retainers with your clients, are you working on like a fixed fee retainer or a percentage of ad spend or a revenue share? What kind of model works well for you?
So we have tried a couple of different payment structures. So initially, and I urge this for newcomers in SMMA or digital marketing, is to offer free trials and try out free trials just to get that experience in the door and understand that if you have a client, this is how it would look like. But get a free trial. And by the way, before I get into that, get a free trial client, but sign a contract that if they're happy with your work, they'll hire you for a certain amount of money. But getting to your question is right now, what we are doing is this year we've experimented so much with this. And it's funny that you asked me this right now, because in the beginning we were doing fixed fees. So from January to March, we were doing fixed fees. From March to July, we're doing fixed fees plus revenue generated. And then from July to now, we're still keeping this, but we thought, hey, maybe it would be much easier if you would just get a full revenue share kind of agreement. So we have zero upfront. We have a set setup fee, and then we have just revenue share. Because we've gotten such great results for our clients, we kind of get that guarantee out of the way so we don't waste money on foreign exchange rates. They're tremendously bad. But we also ensure our client has a much easier time scaling the company, and we both will make more money out of it. So this is what we're playing with sort of right now, because I still want to figure a way that, but also an easier time to stay on.
Okay, no, that's a great explanation of your journey. And I think usually with pricing, it is a journey. I don't think you can just go and try something out that is working for someone else without really kind of trying different approaches in your market. Now, I know you've the e-com niche. Are there any other niches that you work with, or are you primarily focused on kind of selling products online?
So we've been playing sort of with info products for the past 6 months now. And I'm sort of liking it because I have this human touch. I get to work with coaches, and I get to really work with them in order to grow their business and grow their impact. Because coaches are at least our client coaches are doing such a great job. I kind of feel proud that I'm part of this, and I'm getting more clients to them and getting those clients such great results. And now we're thinking to also transition into the info product space slowly, because info products are slightly going to be, you need to be more involved into info products rather than e-commerce. But that involvement kind of fills in something that makes me, at least as an owner of my company, more happy to be in.
And is there any particular reason why you've kind of avoided the service space and generating leads, which is, I suppose, one of the biggest things people could do when they are starting from scratch?
Yeah. So I did that in the beginning. So when I was freelancing, I had a couple of clients which I did lead gen for. I crushed it for them, but it was, at least for me, it sounds like I'm boasting, but it was very easy to do. So it wasn't any fulfillment out of it. The business which was offering the service wasn't very thankful, didn't really know the value that we were sending them. And it kind of left me, it just didn't make me feel right, because these people didn't know how much it's involved to set up certain ads, and how much time you need to work to work in sense of to learn to get these ads up and running for them. And so I tried it in the beginning, but now, because it was fairly easy to do, I transitioned into e-com, and now I'm transitioning maybe into info products.
Right, that's absolutely awesome. Well, we're very quickly running out of time. So final for you, if you were to advise someone who's just starting their journey, what's the best advice you can give them?
So I think I already gave it. So start off, don't listen to anybody, offer free trials, and after offer a free month of trial. And then if you're happy with them, and if they're happy with you, get them as a client. But sign this beforehand. Sign a very easy $500 to $1,000 per month basic contract with them, and just get started. Just get your hands dirty as soon as possible.
Awesome. Now, if someone wants to find out a bit more about you or kind of what you're up to, where's the best place to find you?
So go on facebook.com/groups/adgiants. So that's ADGJINANTS, Ad Giants.
That's a long
I think I
URL,
messed it up.
but I'm sure people will find it on your profile as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. On that note, John,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.